On this week's GTA 5 o'clock, are you still playing GTA Online? The results of our crew versus crew battle, some amazing pictures in our Snapmatic competition, plus Challenge Dan. It's all here on this week's GTA 5 o'clock. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of GTA 5 o'clock. I'm your host James Jarvis and I'm joined as ever by co-host Dan Dawkins.
Hello.
Hello Dan. What I should have said is the now PPA award nominated GTA 5 o'clock.
Yes, the UK-based Professional Publishers Association has seen fit to include us on the shortlist for the prestigious PPA Awards, and that's for the Digital Innovation of the Year. So if you'd like to support us in that, there's nothing you can do.
No.
But the die is being cast
Cross
by
your fingers.
The expert panel. But do thank you so much for supporting us, and that's the only reason we're in the nominations, is because you've helped to make this so successful. Genuine, heartfelt thanks. If all goes well, James and I will be at a swish dinner in London, eating for our one night a year where we get to eat a posh meal, praying we don't get humbled by the digital innovations in Farmer's Guardian or whatever the other things we're up against. We are up against, at the PPA Awards, there are big magazines like GQ, Cosmo, Esquire. It really is like all media. And there's the plucky rebel upstarts of GTA 5 o'clock coming to mess your shit up, yo. So we'll be sitting there sipping Prosecco or whatever the other folk do.
Maybe. Or maybe not. Alright, well, enough about us. Let's move on to you guys. You will notice in the description there is a link to a poll, and that is whether, what are we calling it, Dan? Whether GTA Online can be saved, is getting towards the end.
Yeah, does GTA Online need saving, ? We're asking you, basically, in a poll, and there's a link in the about description. Are you still playing GTA Online, yes or no? And again, I'm sure, Rockstar will obviously have the real numbers about this relative to how many people have bought it. We want to know amongst the GTA 5 o'clock community, how many people are still actively interested in GTA Online. We're going to use that as a little acid test of the current buzz around the game. And then we're going to talk about ways that, maybe not fix or save is the right word, but ways to rejuvenate interest and get that buzz around it that we first had when the game was first announced, when it first came out and everyone was getting involved.
Yeah, so we're going to be debating whether it needs anything extra, like the heists are obviously coming, so will that save it? Will people go back to it? Is it too little, too late? That kind of thing. What do you think in the comments? Let us know. But off the top of the bat, Dan, I would say that the interest in it has probably gone down, like you say, since the initial release, just because everyone has done pretty much everything to do in that world now, and they're waiting for heists and new high life updates, DLCs, and that kind of thing to really step it up again.
Yeah, I think most people will have, and Rockstar proved this. I think over 70% of people who bought GTA Online, if not higher, went online to try the online mode. But people sample it and get a feeling of whether it's for them or not. And I think you want to see all the game modes, get a vibe for whether you want to be part of it. Kind of the people who are dedicated and playing now are those who sort of, have either fallen into communities that they really like, and so they're effectively playing with friends, or they're looking to grind for, reputation points. But again, a lot of that has been sullied by the numerous cheats, hacks, people getting money, Rockstar having to give out money as a penance. The sort of purity of the meritocratic system has been broken, essentially. So as a result, I think maybe that's less of an incentive for people. I no longer feel like I'll be taking part in a fair society in any aspect of my life. So, it's one thing offline to take part in that society, another thing online where you do want the fairness. I think that would have put a proportion of people off. And because there's probably, and we've touched on this in previous episodes, not enough activities that reward just being creative or jaffing around. Now, something Rockstar have confirmed again this week is they've released new tips for the capture
and creator mode.
Yeah, the capture job tips. Now, the problem with this is, yes, they are trying to encourage and celebrate creativity, but in a similar way that you might saying the car manufacturers association might go, we're looking for a big drive on people to create brilliant new engine designs, because that's quite complicated, and when something needs lots of elaboration and explanation, you're instantly chasing a niche of obsessives who are going to produce for the rest of the community, and it loses the purity of, I don't know, something like, what was that draw something game that was really big? Something that anyone can understand instantly, but is creative. And it's that thing that maybe GTA Online is missing. It's sort of that big idea, simple, creative touch. Now, we've touched on it, in the show where we wanted stupid things like the ability to have, like, street crew throwdowns and dances. And I think to bring an element of fun back to GTA Online, that you don't just have to be constantly looking to kill someone, stab them, murderize them. I think it'll be more fun to be rewarded for, like, flamboyant dressing, hanging out in certain crews, for dancing, for, like we've said, decorating your apartment. I mean, it sounds incredibly twee, but it's fun. Like, if you can take photos, like James had a great idea. If you can take photos with your, your Snapmatic and then post those photos in your room, that's cool. How about you take loads of photos and get a pop-up gallery within
Buy an
the
art
game?
gallery.
Yeah,
in the
see,
game.
that's ridiculous, right? And it's funny, but you could get, you get RP for that. I think that sort of creativity side is what people want.
Yeah, it's about being in that world and being able to have fun in the world, like just meeting up with 8 people, walking along the streets, and then going, hey, do you want to check out my pub? We should all go hang out in my pub, or whatever. Just something that you can go and just chill out in, really.
And people are creating their own fun anyway. There's lots of people who are like either doing things like the BMX stunts, stunt jumps, recreating scenes from classic movies like Reservoir Dogs. We've had the James Bond Skyfall train chase recreation. They're all fantastic things. I mean, can we put those in the links, James? Can we find them?
They'll be in the description.
Cool. We'll find those and put them in so you can see them if you haven't. Those are brilliant, wonderful things happening, but they're being driven by the users. I know that's Rockstar's aim, is for like us to create our own fun, but I think sometimes people need a little bit of hand-holding to say, take part in this fun thing. And you want to get a little bit of the magic that was behind some of the stupider levels of Little Big Planet, or the funnest things of, like, PlayStation Home. Again, we keep referring to it. What it did really well was that it was like, yes, it was unequivocally quite rubbish, and some of the mini games were like a barely disguised advertising sham. But what it was great at, because you had those little chat bubbles in the conversation, you could engage in really surrealist, fun conversations with people, and like actually have some fun human condition type chat. Now, I think that we used to. I used to work on a magazine called PSM3, and we used to send one of our guys into Home every week, posing as a fake philosopher called the Bearded One. And so every week he'd go in and like ask the virtual world a real life meaningful philosophical question and get their stupid answers. And there was something quite insightful about hearing some people engage with him fully and have like a real meaning of lifestyle conversation, and others just like make a fart noise, carry on virtually flirting, doing the running man. It just seemed to sum up the absolute nonsense and exotic nature of life. So I don't want to get too deep, but you want some of the fun back in GTA Online, some of the creativity. I think the game modes, people have seen them, they've played them, they're fine, they're fun, but because the overall aim of gaining RP has lost a little bit of its meaning, they're not in themselves as meaningful either. So it either needs a refresh, or we need more stuff that encourages what's great, making friends and sharing stuff with friends. So more co-op based activities, which is what Heist is supposed to be. Maybe if Heist was to spin off into a proper competitive team leaderboard, we are the best at Heist, our team's the best at this. This is tapping into the Call of Duty mindset with the crews and the clans, where people compete, and it's all about how those teams coordinate. Rockstar have tried to introduce that and start to get people thinking along those lines with some of the jobs they've created, but it does need a proper communication of, this is how we're doing it, this is what it's all about. I said I wouldn't say much, I've gone off on one, but yeah.
But there, if you've got anything else to add, then do put it in the comments below. And speaking of being together as one, as a community, we have our GTA 5 o'clock cruise on the Rockstar Social Club. Now, some of you may have noticed there's been a few changes recently to how that whole structure works. Now, what we wanted to do was get everyone under one umbrella, as it were. So the GTA 5 o'clock main crew, the one with the OCLK tag, is going to become our like big tentpole crew, where we're going to have everyone from PlayStation 3 and 360 users and everyone under that banner. And the reason for that is because it's easier that way to, when we start doing crew versus crew battles, which we'll get onto in a minute, and that kind of thing, it's easier to keep everyone together. Plus, everything you do when you're in that crew adds to your crew ranking, and then if you rank up within the crew, if you start switching crews and things, you instantly lose that ranking and the ability to buy crew items and things like that. So it's better to have everyone under one umbrella. The other two will still exist, but we'll try and do...
Am I right to say that OCLK is primarily PS3? Isn't that what we're talking about it being?
It is at the moment, yeah.
Predominance of PS3 players. And the idea is that the OCLS, the Shadows crew, would be primarily the Xbox 360 gamers crew.
Yes.
But yeah, the idea is that the big thing is that the OCLK... and again, we're experimenting here. This is being handled by Steve Stacey, who's like the crew administrator. I know some people have been upset because they got, they didn't understand why they've been forcibly booted from the OCLS crew, and we're like, what the hell's going on? Steve Stacey has created a Reddit explaining the rules. And again, it's an interactive process. Maybe not everyone will agree with everything, but the idea is to, as James was saying, keep the two consoles apart so you can play with your friends all the time, and hopefully long term you'll reap the benefits.
Excellent. So onto a crew versus crew battle. We had our first GTA 5 o'clock crew battle against Frutai from Mexico, and good news is that we won that crew battle 2-0, so we destroyed the Mexicans. Good work everyone in that crew. Hopefully we'll be doing more of these in the future and trying to get a crew recruitment video made and hopefully get Rockstar to put that on and get...
Recruitment.
Nice. Yeah, so you should be in the marketing team, Dan.
In many ways I am.
Alright, so that's the crew news. Hopefully that's sorted a few things out. If you're still confused about it, check the link in the description, go over and read the Reddit, and if you're still confused about it, get in touch with us again and we'll try and make it clearer next week. On to the Snapmatic competition now, Dan. Last week you missed this section of the show because you were off, I don't know, getting a coffee or something. You were away.
Just chilling out.
Didn't want any part of it.
Yeah.
So what the theme was emergency services. We have picked our top five in no particular order here, and we're going to show you them right now and have a little comment on them. So Dan, let's start off with this one from, who's this from?
It's from Sif2200, which sounds like, Sif is the rebranded name for Jif Gel, isn't
Over
it?
here it is, yeah.
Cleaner, yeah. So it's the space age version of Sif has done a really quite artful and well composed screenshot of 3 police choppers arched in a sort of straight line come boomerang arc.
Arched in a straight line.
Yeah, one of those arched straight lines. That's what Sif 2020 brings you.
Yeah,
madness. So, complete madness. I basically think it's just a really nicely composed shot. It isn't the most immediately emergency themed, but yes, they are police choppers. It's not necessarily an easy shot to compose. No. Well done, Sif, and good work on the cleaning. Okay, next is S. O'Neill.
Yeah, he sent in quite a few entries. This is probably his best one. Looks like it's near a gas station and there was quite a few men on the floor. Definitely emergency services. The police are responding to, well, you can make your own story up, really. Is it a murder? Has he been mugged? I don't know.
It's a man who'd been buying petrol and the policeman had asked him the time.
Right.
And the man buying petrol panics. He thought he said, "Are you a killer?"
Of course.
And then
easy mistake to make.
And then he tripped on a stone, landing on a sharp rock, and he died. And then the policeman shot himself out of guilt. So I think we've cleared that one up.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's clear. So thanks for that, Owen. That's very evocative. It's led to that really credible story I've thought up on the fly. In a masterpiece of planning, we've chosen 2 from this guy.
Another one of O'Neill's photos. They are very good. He only sent in 3, I think, and they were all brilliant. But this tells a different story of a man on a ranch. He's obviously not paid his phone bill, and the police have turned up to get him. I like the guy leaning on the tree there, just hiding.
Yeah, I think that's the idea of we, the viewer of this scene, are in on a secret that the assailant or wherever he is doesn't know, in that there's a policeman tree-bound waiting to deliver shotgun justice.
Excellent.
So that's good. Okay, runner-up, sort of.
These are all quite morbid pictures. There's a lot of death and well, as you're going to get in emergency services.
You don't get many good emergencies.
Well, you know, you could see a nice ambulance, a shot of an ambulance saving someone.
Cat up a tree. That doesn't happen in GTA, but that would be nice.
Another thing there, Rockstar. Put cats in trees.
Jimothy Manda has taken this charming picture of a crumpled pedestrian, and it looks like is that the medical services?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's writing down. If he's like trying to get a statement from her, just what exactly is wrong with you? Oh, you're crumpled in a heap. All right, fine.
Yeah. So I think the notepad makes this image.
Definitely.
But it's not the winner. Oh no, it's Krista Valvik, who's taken this picture of, well, again, an evocative, multi-framed picture.
Yeah, this is great. There's the ambulance services have turned up there to deal with the guy on the floor. There's a policeman in a pool of blood. He's obviously not gone too well out of this. Have those two cars crashed? Has there been an altercation? Was it road rage? Oh, there's so much you can get.
Exactly, and is that Princess Peach from Mario driving a convertible in the foreground, just showing off the top of her head? We'll never know.
No.
We'll never know. But thank you so much for all your emergency-themed photos.
Loads
Next
this week.
week's theme, oh my wow, this is going to be a hot one.
Next week's theme, Dan, then is
Art.
See, this is what happens when Dan misses a week.
What is art? You decide. Is it urban art, actual art? Is it an interpretive dance of the environment and a collusion of nature? You will find out using your Snapmatic camera and send us your interpretive results that ultimately James and I will arbitrate upon.
Yes, they will be judged.
Yeah, they will be judged. But again, we're going to do what you can't do to art and put a very clear judge on it. I might even score it. Score art.
Yes.
That would be funny. Have that art.
Good. So there you go. Get your Snapmatic entries in. Put the links in the description below, or get in touch on GTA V O'Clock on Twitter or facebook.com/GTA V O'Clock, and we will pick the best ones and feature them in next week's show. All right, Dan, on to the most entertaining piece of the show here. It is Challenge Dan. Now, if you've got any challenges for Dan, again, put them in the comments below or get in touch with us on Twitter or Facebook. Dan, this week's suggestion has come from Jimmy J. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But he's come up with a brilliant thing for you to do.
Yeah.
What he wants you to do is steal a selection of vehicles and park them on Michael's driveway.
Okay.
You have 10 minutes and you have to find 5 vehicles.
Okay.
He wants you to get a motorbike, a car, a truck, an emergency service vehicle, and a BMX bike. So let's jump in to GTA and see how you get on.
Let's do it.
All right, Dan, here we are at Michael's house. Now, I'm not going to start the timer until you leave his house, basically.
Okay, that's good.
So until you leave his driveway, we're not going to start the timer.
Whap! Got to think about how I'm going to get the BMX bike here without cycling a million miles. It's not a complete stitch-up. I'm just going to get in there, start bringing the ruckus.
This is the one I thought would be easy, the car.
Of course it is. Very easy. Car, done. Right, how's timer doing? You haven't even started it, have you?
No, I've started it. You're all right. You're not even a minute in.
Good. Sorry, watch your head. It's like a slippery eel. I love that rainbow building. It's very cheerful. I've got a cunning plan for the emergency services.
Have you? This is not a good way to go.
It's a terrible way, isn't it?
We're about 2 minutes in. People would say they are the 4th emergency service.
Shame I can't wang a bike in the back of it. Didn't expect him to get a lifeguard vehicle, did you? What is it with this game? He does load in a cache. Look at that, it's like Bike City.
Yeah.
It does do that, doesn't it? He's in a bus like a truck. I think I've made a bit of a hash of this as well. Right, okay, I'll drop this off. Hey, I'll use that car to go and do my stuff. I love this car as well. It's just such great fun to throw around.
Yeah? I don't think you're going to find any trucks in the city.
No, I don't think so either. Oh no, what a prank. That could be the fatal prank. Is that a truck?
Yeah, that counts as a truck. That's a recycling truck, isn't it?
Oh, look at that, it's full of paper as well. It's a slight whiff of fear I might do it, isn't it?
See, and here's the thing. I would have loved if all those vehicles stayed in the
well,
driveway. Why is that back?
Just got an infinite supply of them. I'm hoping a bike's going to pop out now. I don't like to ever interpret things myself.
No.
I just like to be told by a giant purple line what to do in my life. Oh, I know I'm on the Free Love Freeway. This is bad.
You've got about 2.5 minutes.
Oh, no. People wear sunglasses at night. They do not ride BMXs. Way down bikes. I'll punch in the face. There we are.
Now your purple lines get all...
Oh, my face. See, it's Bike City again.
Oh, look, bikes. Why didn't you get one of these bikes before? 90 seconds.
When you're in the market for exotic bikes, you need to be stealing them off people, don't you?
Got about a minute, Dan.
Right.
And your car's gone. Are you just going to walk out, yeah?
Well, how can I do? I can't ride my bike out. You're going to be working on your pavement thing.
You should rob cars more and give everyone one-liners.
All I can say is in daytime, this would have been a success.
Really? Let's say you failed the challenge. Unfortunate. Dan.
All right, okay.
Unlucky.
Let's just get the bike and see what happens. Whoa, sorry. Well, I'd have scared you, wouldn't it, in real life? Imagine that. You were running along in the morning.
And a maniac plows into
in.
a telephone pole.
The Whoa! That was best physics ever. Super Mario physics.
Yes.
It's not a single bike here.
This isn't going to make bikes appear, I can tell you that.
Imagine being hit by sticks and they don't stick to
Stroked
people, do
it
they?
down her
I mean,
arm.
it's good in a way they don't stick to people because that would be a horrific way to go
Yeah.
out, wouldn't it? Evil bean machine.
They're here on
Hot
the pier.
dog, my friend.
All you're doing is just putting sticky... Oh. Well, Dan. That was the end of this week's challenge, Dan. You managed to get 4 of the vehicles out of the 5. Pretty good effort. The only thing was that BMX bike didn't really come to pass, did it? The old BMX bike.
Didn't see a single one.
No. Oh well, if you've got any more challenges for Dan for next week, please put them in the description below, or Jimmy J might have to come up with another one because his ones are great. Thanks for joining us on this week's GTA 5 O'Clock. Don't forget, we are on Facebook, facebook.com/GTA V O'Clock, and on Twitter @GTA V O'Clock. If you want to get in touch with us, that's the best places to do so. Thanks for joining us this week. Hopefully next week we'll be back with some High Life DLC news and news about heists. But until then, we will see you next week.
Bye.